Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I'm Claire, your host and Chromia's digital marketing specialist. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or a regular of ours, a huge thank you for joining us today. We're in for an exciting episode. Today, we'll be talking with Traced Systems, a platform that is challenging the blockchain with innovative technology, tracking the whole life cycle of physical products. Our guests are Farhad, the executive lead and co-founder, and Johan Toll, CIO and senior business advisor for Trace Systems. So welcome in both the guests, and also joining us today is Guillermo as well from Chromia. Hi, Farhad and Johan. How are you both doing today?
Unmute. Hello, Claire and everyone. Doing great, and thanks for having us, and look forward to an exciting conversation together.
Likewise. Hello, Claire and Guillermo. Thanks, and very well indeed. And thanks for having us in this episode. Looking forward to this session.
Fantastic. And yes, welcome in Guillermo, our head of marketing at Chromia. How are you doing today? Oh, muted. We'll get there.
Yeah, I think we are sorry about that, between technical problems and forgetting about the muting button. Yeah, I was gonna say that we're getting close to Christmas, to the holidays, vacation, but you can probably tell by all the errors happening today. So yeah, excited about being here, and yeah, great to have you here, Johan and Farhad. I'm excited to learn more about about Trace and about all the things that we're gonna discuss.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. When it comes to doing live shows, it's always interesting to see what will go on. So this is live. This is proving to you guys that it is live, but the rest of the show is going to be really awesome. So I'm going to introduce Trace Systems. For those of you who are not aware of the project, it is a fantastic one, and we're so lucky to be partnered with them. So in a world where transparency and sustainability are no longer optional, but essential, Trace Systems emerges as a game changer that challenges and raises the bar for blockchain projects worldwide. Powered by Chromia Blockchain, Trace Systems provides a cutting-edge platform designed to revolutionize how we track, manage, and understand the life cycle of products. At its heart, it's a digital product passport, an innovative service that creates an immutable and transparent record of a product's journey from creation to end of life. Trace Systems isn't just about technology. It's about empowering industries like textiles, batteries, and electronics to embrace sustainable practices. By offering real-time traceability, it bridges the gap between manufacturers, suppliers, and consumers, ensuring that every link in the supply chain operates with accountability and integrity. Aligned with global sustainability goals and regulations, particularly in the European Union, as where I am right now, Trace Systems promotes a circular economy by encouraging practices like repair, reuse, and recycling. Through partnerships like-minded innovatives such as Doors3, the platform also rewards stakeholders, fostering a culture of informed, responsible decision-making. Whether you're a business aiming to streamline operations or consumer curious about your favorite products come from, Trace Systems is at the forefront of creating a more transparent, sustainable future, one product at a time. So with that being said, let's get started in having a really good discussion and getting into the depth. So although that is the introduction, let's get started with the star of the show. So I did mention the digital product passport. Let's get into it. So how does it work? Are we talking about a passport or a logbook for products that I want to sell? Or can it be used to keep track of my own personal belongings in my home as well? So let's get into it.
I guess I should start. Thanks for the introduction, Claire. But basically, it's a bit difficult to kind of have a generic definition about digital product passport. But in short, digital product passport that is known with DPP, as the abbreviation, is like a dynamic digital record that stays with the product throughout its life cycle. And it tracks essential details like where the product came from, the materials it's made of, certifications, repairs, and all the events through its life cycle, and also recycling options. on the downstream. Businesses use DPPs to enhance mainly transparency and meet compliance standards based on the regulations that are coming and are enforced from 2027. And it's kind of a regulation mandate also. But on the personal level, it kind of functions similarly. You could use it to assign a digital ID to items like furniture, electronics, storing details about warranties, maintenance, and all consumer-related information to that ID. It's like creating, as you said, a digital logbook, making reselling, recycling, and managing your belongings much easier. So that was the definition in short.
So I could use it for my own personal belongings then?
Sure, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so that's incredible. So not just those of you who are running businesses that want to track and trace the life cycle of your own products, but anyone can use this. So what unique products are people tracing in their digital passports right now?
Basically, as the market is shaping, but nowadays these digital product passports are being used across many industries. And the most important industry that will be the first industry impacted by the regulations is batteries. So in EV batteries, they track everything from raw material sourcing to recycling, ensuring compliance and sustainability. In textiles and fashion, also they verify sustainable and ethical practices, like it's been made of organic materials, for instance, or has been used fair labor for production and manufacturing. And on the luxury goods like watches and handbags, DPPs ensure authenticity. That's the main feature of DPPs, and in that way can combat counterfeiting by documenting origin and ownership of the luxury goods, of those goods. Electronics, for instance, is another industry that will be impacted, and DPP will be widely used to track materials, certifications, and repair histories, and promoting a kind of circular economy around it. And we are seeing that nowadays talking a lot about the construction materials in the construction industry, that those materials could be tracked for carbon footprint and green building compliance, those kind of issues. So these are all kind of early adopters that are setting the standard for transparency and sustainability for the future. And as I said, the adoption level is different from industry to industry.
Yeah, it is very interesting because with the definition of in this definition of digital product passport, you are already highlighting how diverse its utilities and how many industries can use it to track so many different things related to, from supply chain to sustainability. So I guess my question would be, why do you think? I mean, this seems like the perfect use case for blockchain. Like, it sounds like blockchain. It is the perfect solving. So, how do you envision this? What do you think makes blockchain this perfect match when it comes to supply chain and environmental use? Sustainability challenges and all that's coming for all these industries?
Yeah, it's a good question, Guillermo. Thank you. So, I mean, I've been in the blockchain space for more than 10 years, covering quite a multitude of different industries to see how the blockchain technology can power various industries out there. And now looking into what we can do when it comes to traceability here with the blockchain, I think it's exceptionally well suited here for implementing digital product passports. And it's primarily because I think we all always talk about how blockchain can help us to enhance the transparency, to improve the traceability. As you heard Farah talk about, the traceability is super important for digital product passports as well here. as well as we also see how we can run this in a sustainable fashion, which also becomes more and more important now as we see how the climate, unfortunately, changes into the wrong direction here. I think it's very well designed for transparency, traceability, and also sustainability, not only from running the infrastructure and running the blockchain network, but also ensuring that the products we track are maintained and handled in a sustainable way. So the immutable product history, I think, is super important. We're going to come back to that later on as well. But I mean, blockchain ensures that each product's lifecycle data, from the raw material, which mine did you pick the minerals here, to disposal, is recorded in an immutable, tamper-proof manner. I think that's super important because a lot of products will live for a long lifetime. And I can trust that this data was entered 10 years ago and still no one are able to change that data. It's tamper-proof here. So it builds the consumer trust as the entire history of a product, from origin, manufacturing, into processes and maintenance, can be independently verified as well. Anyone can go in and check from where did the minerals were they mined for creating or manufacturing the battery, for example. Another important part is of course, compliance and regulation. We can see more and more regulations coming into Europe and luckily also so in other parts of the world here. So we can also see how the blockchain enables companies now to easily share verifiable compliance data with the regulators and the stakeholders. Such as, I mean, especially here in the EU, we are looking into sustainability and circular economy requirements. And then, of course, another important part is the fraud prevention and authenticity. Blockchain secure DPPs prevent fraud by providing a single source of truth for product authenticity and certifications. So fraud is also a super important part where blockchain can significantly help us to ensure authenticity of the products. And then another thing that we're going to come into later as well, otherwise we have a good collaboration going on together with Chromeway, is to see how we can further enhance the consumer engagement into this. I mean, through QR codes or RFID chips or NFC tags, we can link a garment or an asset into the blockchain and create a digital twin into the blockchain system so that you can then view and verify your DPPs in real time. You buy a jacket and you can scan the QR code. You can directly see from where was it manufactured, what year, from where was the wool picked, for example. But this in addition gives us an additional advantage compared to other types of non-blockchain powered systems. So a lot of parts here, but of course, again, back to the importance of transparency, immutability here, and sustainability.
Yeah, to be honest, sounds really, really a match made in heaven between a product like that, the industry needs, and the power of blockchain, obviously. But getting a little more in specific and obviously interested to know what is the...
Sorry, Guillermo, I'm interrupting you before we go on to the maybe next topic. Tying to what Johan said, I have an add-on comment that blockchain is the dominant technology or solution in kind of complicated supply chains. Because many of, as we are experimenting now with the pilots that we are doing, most of the actors are kind of suffering from sharing the data. And DPP could be the central means to share data between different actors, that they're not maybe systematically connected. So DPP could be that bridge, that between the manufacturer and the recycler, to carry the data in a trusted and transparent way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, absolutely, and definitely is a big task for blockchain. I'm interested in learning more about Traced, Chromia, and Chromaway. What do you think? How does Chromia and Chromaway fit into the story of Traced system? Where does this started, or where does this come from?
Yeah, I mean, we're super proud to be partnering up with Chromaway here and the Chromaway's blockchain expertise. I mean, Chromaway has been in the works for more than 10 years. They built their blockchain already in 2014. So it's a very mature technology that we can see has a lot of good benefits for us. I mean, Chromaway has an extensive history here in innovating and provides really the strategic framework and the tools that we need for DPP implementations. I mean, it's also Chromeware has since many years back been focusing in on real world assets. I mean, how can we track real world assets? How can we connect the real world assets with the digital twin, a digital token into the blockchain then? That's also where we rely on a lot of already existing, mature, developed solutions here. So they very much become a natural partner for Trace Systems here, where we then, of course, from Trace Systems, we require reliable and a scalable blockchain technology to handle the supply chain complexity. And that maybe brings me also to Chromia here, the blockchain system, the public network that is up and running here that we rely on. Is because Chromia is a relational blockchain, which is then developed by Chromeway, and it's ideal for building digital product passport systems because it combines the blockchain's trust and immutability with the relational database model's flexibility and efficiency. I think the unique architecture now makes it easier for us to handle the vast, the interconnected data sets, a lot of data that comes with a digital product passport. I mean, if you're going to track your battery throughout its whole life cycle, there's a lot of data that goes into this, a lot of documents, maybe maintenance documents, recycling documents, all of that we can now easily store on the Chromia relational database because it's perfect for storing massive amounts of data. And at the same time, I can, through the RHEL smart contract language, place advanced queries directly onto the blockchain. That's also, I mean, I've been working on many other blockchains in my past, and this is really one of the great benefits I see among others here for Chromia, where it's an ability to store a lot of data and also directly be able to query the blockchain database with a SQL-like language. So I think, I mean, also with Trace Systems' mission here is, of course, to promote sustainability through the DPP, is to help companies to become more sustainable, to prove that, yes, we maintain our products and we handle our products in a sustainable way. And that very well aligns with Chromeway's focus as well on environmental and societal impact. So I think it's a really, really good partner for us to have, both in Chromeway as the company, as well as the Chromia blockchain network.
I think it's really adding value to not just the products, but companies all around the world. And I know, Farhad, you were mentioning how different elements of the life cycle and the different people that are involved, the communication is essential. And we're going to get to that part in a minute. So I've got a question for you coming up. But Johan, speaking of Chromia, its blockchain architecture is known for being user-friendly and scalable. And I truly hope that has been the case as well in incorporating into Trace Systems. But could you explain how these features benefit Trace Systems and its users?
Yeah, sure. I think, I mean, we really much experience and benefit from the user-friendly smart contracts language called RHEL here. It's a SQL-style language. It's very easy. I think sometimes you're more up to 10 times faster encoding in this smart contract language compared to other languages that you see in other type of blockchain networks. I think that's really something that we benefit from here. Another part is the scalable architecture here, which is also a key feature that makes this an excellent choice for us here when creating the digital product passport, because we can easily create, we kind of can have guaranteed compute into the blockchain system. We are not dependent on any gas fees. You don't need to pay per transaction here, which is also another big advantage, I think, of using and being on the Chromia network here for that. So those characteristics directly address the complexity of supply chains here and the demand for scalability and efficiency and user friendliness. And I mean, and RHEL, as I come back to here, is modeled on the relational database system. It makes it intuitive for developers already familiar with SQL or similar language. So compared to other smart contract languages, I mean, not to mention anyone, but I mean, you can much quicker get into RHEL and start to be much more efficient when you code your application logic into the smart contract. RHEL produces very clear and concise smart contracts, make it also very easy to audit and update the systems as requirements evolve. And that's what we see. We have built the core platform here now together with EPSI from the European Union. And now we can easily add in new segments to support new types of digital product platforms. We started with batteries and textile, and we can now easily move in and add additional segments as we see the demand increases for various types here. And I think I've touched on that before, but I mean, each application on Chrome here, that goes for anyone that sits on the Chrome network. It operates on its own blockchain. It's like a side chain. So you're not dependent on how much power or consumption other dApps are requiring on the blockchain. Instead, you run on an isolated workload here, and it eliminates competition for resources that you can see in many other blockchains. So of course, that is a benefit for us in Trace Systems here, because different industries or product categories can have their own DPP side chains. We can create one chain for a specific segment, and we have a completely different chain for another segment, and they will not be dependent on each other's performance here, where other blockchains have the difficulties to resolve that. So we can create one chain for electronics, another one for textiles, and a third for automobiles, for example, each optimized for the specific needs for those industries. So I can't see any other blockchain that can deliver this to us.
Wow. Honestly, I feel like we should hire you for marketing. That was fantastic. But so whenever I do think about blockchain, there's always going to be an element of me that does start thinking about security, to make sure that everything and all the data that we put on the blockchain is secure. Maybe it's encrypted, things like this. So if I'm a company putting all of my product data on the blockchain, how do I know that it's safe and not available to be seen by competitors? How does Trace Systems handle the sensitive business data while maintaining transparency and trust?
I think that I will take this question. And it's a very, very critical question. Just I want to give you a little background about the project, how Trace Systems emerged. It was one of the use cases we collaborated with the EU Commission throughout. If the others don't know about it, a pre-commercial procurement project. It was a 3 years project in collaboration with the EU that we kind of developed it under the supervision of the EU experts. And this was one of the elements that they were very sensitive about it, that how we can secure privacy and sensitive data on the chain. We accomplished to devise kind of a feature or subsystem in a kind of layered approach to balancing transparency and security. We use permission blockchains, kind of the system, the ecosystem that the dApp is running is a permission blockchain, basically, ensuring only authorized parties can access specific information. For instance, if you log in as a manufacturer, you can only see the information that is relevant to you, and not maybe the information from the recyclers, sensitive information. So sensitive data is kind of also could be stored off-chain and encrypted, and with the blockchain holding the cryptographic references or hashes of the data only on our blockchain. So this is one of the mechanisms also we used. This protects confidential details while maintaining the immutability of the blockchain. And to manage access, we implement kind of, as I said, role-based permissions throughout smart contracts. These could automatically enforce rules about who can view or modify particular data. For example, as I said, the manufacturer might have access only to product specifications, while a retailer only sees the distribution information. So this system ensures that businesses can share key data on a public blockchain to build trust and meet transparency goals, while still protecting competitive information. And we believe that it's all about enabling collaboration between different actors without compromising security, and making our platform both flexible and trustworthy for different stakeholders.
Yeah, if I may add to that as well, and Farhad, you're very kind here, and I think we should especially highlight, I mean, we've been working with the EU Parliament and EPSI here for more than 3 years. And I think what's important to highlight here is that we were able to fulfill their requirements on privacy, we were able to fulfill that requirement on how to build quantum safe encryptions. We were able to also fulfill the regulatory requirements onto this. I think that's a flag we can really be proud of and hold high here to everybody, because I've been in the fintech business for 20 years, and I know how tough it is to fulfill regulatory requirements, how tough it is to fulfill privacy, especially when it comes to blockchain here, which is famous for transparency, famous for sharing data. So I think it was really a nice achievement done here by Trace System to fulfill the very, very tough hurdles and to fulfill the requirements from the regulator on the EU level. I think that also speaks for how we ensure to very carefully handle sensitive data and fulfilling regulatory requirements in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do hear a lot about immutability, and I've heard both of you mention it just even briefly. How does Trace Systems ensure the integrity of the data entered into the digital product passport using the technology through immutability? Can we go like into a bit more depth, like in one sentence, or how can we make sure that it is completely trusted? I think we've got a question for Farhad with this one.
For me, okay. Definitely, I think I can comment on that, but I think that Johan also has some points could add to this. I would say that the data integrity is the heart of our platform. As Johan has said, with Chromios blockchain, once data is entered, it's kind of sealed into the system, ensuring that it cannot be altered without leaving a trace. So we can identify that who have made the changes in the chain. So that could be one of the mechanisms to protect the integrity. And we also validate data before it's added. It's very important that we are using inputs from some kind of connected systems like IoT sensors or certifications from trusted third parties. And this combination ensures that the data in the digital product passport is accurate, reliable, and auditable. Could be audited, and so this can make the system create a system for stakeholders that they can trust. So we have just to summarize it. So we have two mechanisms. One is that blockchain has the core features to make sure that the data is to protect the integrity, and also we are making sure that the data are added or populated to the system are kind of validated through different mechanisms like third parties, and also the add-on systems to this.
If I can add to that, I mean, we all hear a lot about immutability in the blockchain, which is super truth here. I mean, we can trust the cryptography that has never been hacked. No one can change data that has once been written. Otherwise, you have to redo the whole chain, and that requires quite some effort, if at all possible. I think one important part is, yes, you touched upon Farhad here, is, I mean, we enter data into the blockchain. Well, how can I then trust that that data is accurate and that data is correct? Maybe if it is from an IoT sensor, I can maybe trust a bit more. Or it depends a bit on who enters the data here, I would say. But what we can add in our DPP service is an additional layer of trust. So we can enter the data, and then we can ask a verifier, can you please certify that this data was correct? Did you see that these minerals were mined from that mine, for example? So I can go in and add in an extra portion of assurance there into the system, which again then make me as an investor that I can trust the data, because I can see it was actually also not only inserted into blockchain in a immutable fashion, but the data was also verified by 1, 2, 3, or 4, maybe satellite photos showing a photograph of how the forest is still growing, for example, or from where the wool was picked. So I think that's what we're working a lot as well on, to see how can we add additional points, data points, so that investors, manufacturers, etc., can trust the data that has been securely written into the blockchain database. Because I think I know that has been some hesitance a couple of years back here. How can I trust the data that is entered into blockchain? I think that's where we also have found very nice ways to manage that in a good way.
Yeah, that's very, very, very interesting. Farhad, I think you wanted to add something. I think you were muted.
I just want to say that each actor in the supply chain is kind of responsible to verify the data. So if you propagate back to, for instance, if you're a manufacturer, then you should make sure that the data entered from suppliers is valid. So the verification happens kind of throughout the supply chain and in a kind of decentralized manner. That is the core DNA of the blockchain, basically. And once if the data is entered to the system by mistake, then we can identify who has done it. So in that way, the actors are kind of responsible and committed to make sure that the data is valid.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting and very true what you're saying about the importance of trusting the data on the blockchain. But allow me to change a little bit the direction with my next question. I am curious about tokenization. So does Trade System use tokens or smart contracts to incentivize participation? If so, how does that work and how do users interact with it?
Yes, very, very good question. I think what you should see here, I mean, we have our core offering for creating the digital product passports. Then on top of that, we can add additional different types of services, depending on what our clients are looking for. How much do they potentially want to move into, I mean, the new Web3 world here, about tokenizing ownership or things like that. So I think with Trade Systems, we plan now to integrate also token-based incentives to encourage sustainable actions within the circular economies. Because of course, important that we all in the value chain feel engaged and feel, yes, I want to contribute to a sustainable world. So we have, thanks to other products Chromeway has been running with for fan engagement platforms or with the Black Denim textile company here, to see how we can incentivize also different actors, stakeholders in this value chain to correctly and continuously enter and update the digital product passports with relevant data. So by issuing tokens when participants, for example, from the supply chain partners to end customers here, we can have them to make environmentally responsible choices. So the platform can then ensure a transparent and automated and verifiable rewards. So this approach does not only motivate the business to meet sustainability criteria, but also encourage consumers to recycle and engage in an eco-friendly behavior. So that will foster a more responsible and circular economic ecosystem. So I guess to give you an easy example would be that, I mean, what we have in our service is that you can receive a token as a reward when you hand in, for example, your jacket for recycling. This way, so then the fashion company can track and see how the jacket was properly recycled, because the fashion brand wants to ensure that they are seen as a sustainable company. They want to prove that, yes, our jackets or trousers or whatever textile garment they have here has been properly recycled here. And to trigger then and give an incentive to the end consumer, to me buying the jacket, I can, for example, receive a token then as a reward for handing in the jacket. And maybe I could get, for example, a rebate for the next buy I make of another jacket from the same fashion company. That also helps the fashion company, of course, to keep their loyalty, to keep and I mean honor their consumers that are loyal to the brand here in a good way. So that's one of many examples we have for how we can incentivize different stakeholders in the whole ecosystem.
I really think this could help me declutter. And when it comes around to Christmas, your house is already full of decorations and things like this. So this is just making my mind think of all the amount of clothes that I love, but I probably should get rid of. but I want to do it in an eco-friendly way where it does give back, or maybe there are charities that could be involved in this, that perhaps big companies like the big fashion brands might see, oh, X amount of products were handed into to a charity, and now they've got a new life cycle going on, and it maybe peaks in spring due to spring cleaning. The amount of things that can come from this, not just even with clothing, but like you mentioned about batteries or in engineering, maintenance, like the possibilities are completely endless. And when it comes to trying to get as many brands involved as much as possible, you have to abide by regulations. You have to get the government on board. So with the rise of regulatory scrutiny, particularly around crypto, actually, and blockchain, how does Trace Systems ensure that you and your clients are compliant?
A very good question, and I'll take this. And I think that we were kind of compliant from the beginning, because this project initiated by the EU Commission to fulfill those compliance objectives for the EU, and I would say that we have built everything based on compliance. And now we are actively collaborating with regulatory bodies and initiatives like, as we are still in touch with EBSI, European Blockchain Services Infrastructure, to ensure that our platform aligns with their kind of evolving global standards. And besides that, we are collaborating, and we are active partner to many of other initiatives like Surpass2. We are participating in different work groups. We have joined SweetPass program recently. So we want to be kind of involved in the mainstream of the regulations and standardization processes, which we believe that it will enable us to be to stay ahead of other competitors and be compliant with the EU's sustainability requirements. And we want to make this compliance seamless. I mean, we help businesses focus on what they do best while meeting all necessary standards. So we want to make the life easy for the businesses. So we are taking care of all the compliance issues in the background, but what we deliver is definitely compliant.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's good to know. And decentralization is one of blockchain's most celebrated features. How does Trace Systems balance decentralization with the need of streamlined operations in supply chain? So when it comes to the communication side of things, really.
I mean, at Trace Systems, I think we approach it very pragmatically here, because decentralization is a big shift for a lot of companies here. So I think it's important for us to ensure it doesn't come at the expense of the smooth, efficient operations that firms that we're engaging with are already in here. So rather than forcing companies to overhaul their established workflows or migrate entirely onto new platforms, we see how we can integrate with their existing infrastructure through flexible APIs. I mean, strong REST APIs to easily connect in with their current systems here. So I think this strategy here allows companies to maintain their current operational setups and data formats, but still can benefit them from the security, the immutability, and the transparency that we talked about that the decentralized ledger comes with here. So I think it's very important to understand you don't need to totally revamp or shift out your existing systems. Instead, we can integrate to your system. We can pick out the relevant data points that are required for the digital product passport. And the vice versa here, companies can extract the relevant data points that they need to feed into their own system. We just had that discussion when visiting a couple of clients in Norway, for example, that yes, we can ensure, and as Farhad talked about, we can ensure also privacy here. You can choose which fields do you want to share with whom in this stakeholder ecosystem, which is another very, very important factor to piece in here to this. So I think by adapting to the client's environment rather than compelling them to adapt to Trace Systems technology, This approach addresses a common pain point in many supply chain digitalization projects. I mean, the disruption of well-tuned mission-critical processes. Instead, blockchain becomes a transparent underlying layer that enhances the trust and traceability and compliance without introducing unnecessary friction. So ultimately, Trace Systems model preserves the strengths of decentralized technologies such as tamper-proof records. You can choose which data you want to share with the tamper-proof decentralized blockchain here, and fault tolerances. Yes, you know that this system will be up and running for many, many years here, while at the same time then respect each company's operational continuity and ability to what type of data do they want to share. And in the end, ensure that blockchain adoption can be a seamless upgrade here rather than a complex overhaul. So again, you keep your system, you can start to interact and benefit more and more from the various data points from the services that are provided through Trace Systems, and then also be better to interoperate with your partners in the life cycle here to share data. For example, for a battery manufacturer, it's very important to hand in maybe only some data only to the recycling agency. No one else should be able to see the data along the whole life cycle. So that's what we can protect here in the system. Again, we do that in a decentralized fashion, but you as a manufacturer, you as a recycling company decide for how do you best want to integrate and connect with Trace Systems DPP.
What is really standing out to me as well is that all of this information would be immediately available. So I can imagine when we're trying to get information, perhaps from our suppliers or from a particular product, even if I was to sell it, but maybe a customer has a question about the product. If you've got so much information that is behind that particular block on the blockchain where you're storing all of this information, you can find it and it's quick. Like it's not going to take 5 business days to get this information across. People are going to be able to be more productive and add so much value to everyone's businesses along the way. And it also makes people not cut corners. You've got transparency. You have to know your product inside and out and have all the answers there. So it's really fascinating to see how many years ahead Trace Systems is. And they're ahead of so many projects, even on the blockchain. So in terms of sustainability, perhaps could you tell us what are you most proud of that perhaps other projects should be doing?
It's a very good question. I think that what stands out us from the other competitors, because we started 2020, that this concept was not too much familiar in the market, and we started the development from at least 4 years ago. So we are proud of how our digital product passports make sustainability actionable by creating tamper-proof, as Johan explained, immutable records of products lifecycle. And thanks to our unique Chromium technology, because we tested it out, thousands of tests during these 3 years co-development with the EU. It showed that how it can be a dominant blockchain technology for this application and the other industrial applications. We got the results that how our chain is scalable, how our chain is kind of energy efficient, and how is it performing. I mean that regarding the transactions. So this gives us a leverage comparing to the other competitors. And besides that, our platform is, as I said, scalable. We can customize our platform based on different needs of the customers, and this flexibility also gives us a leverage negotiating with different clients. And it's very user friendly, and we are kind of balancing advanced technology with practical use. And as also Johan mentioned, through our token-based incentives, we reward consumers and businesses for eco-friendly kind of actions, making sustainability a shared responsibility for all actors in the supply chain or a business or a cluster. And lastly, we are shaping industry standards now. As I said, we are intensely participating in different work groups for our partnerships and our thought leadership. So we see it as a mission for ourselves to contribute also to shaping these standards in different industries and also the whole ecosystem.
Yeah. So, do you see in terms of I hear you. I mean, I know Trace, and based on what you explained, you are very, very focused on supply chain innovation. But I'm curious if do you see Trace system eventually integrating in other expanding its broad in Web3 in terms of other Web3 products or even other Web3 ecosystems, or what? How do you see how do you see the path for Trace in the future related to that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, in a way, we're already poised here to blend our core offering, our core supply chain innovation with broader Web3 integrations. I think we already are in discussions and have discussions with clients that want to see how they can further enhance our core DPP offering with Web3 features, as we touched upon before here. And it's also partly thanks to, we also see the other way around here, how other projects, for example, running within ChromeAway. We have, for example, FanSeal, who is a very successful sports engagement platform that is also run on the Chromia ecosystem. Well, their clients are also looking to see how can we create a digital passport for our T-shirts, for example, sold on the football shop at the arena, for example. So we see a multitude of integration points in between different types of businesses, and very much welcome companies to come and contact us as well, if they can see how they can maybe rely on our DPP service as a platform and then add in enhanced services onto this. So I think rather than remain narrowly focused here, I mean, we are happy to collaborate with a multitude of projects here, like the FanSeal project I mentioned, but also other blockchain-powered ventures that wants to extend a sustainable engagement and offer unique digital assets. I think this approach, I mean, that we have, it provides an immense multifaceted user experience to enhance supply chain transparency with very much interactive, brand-driven activities across interconnected Web3 environments. So, for example, what we're also elaborating on here together with FanSeal, for example, is that maybe through the RFID chips here, we can have proof of attendance concept. We already modeled that out for a clothing fashion company, that you have proof of attendance that you can do through your RFID chips sewed into your leather jacket, for example. Or can I use my QR code as a ticket for entrance to the sports arena? Or even, I mean, as a way to pay for your beer at the arena. So we are exploring a lot of ability how we can interconnect with other Web3 blockchain-powered ecosystems to further enhance the experience for the end users, and of course then for fashion companies or for manufacturers, etc., to further move them into a more digital world that they may not have been in already.
I think the options and the possibilities of how you can use this goes beyond, and I love how like the central part is the life cycle, and that doesn't necessarily just limit yourself to physical products, like you mentioned about events, being able to redeem things, the way of loyalty cards, the way of community, the way of monitoring fans' behavior. All of these things are all connected, and being able to see from the point of even advertisement. Imagine if you're able to trace it all the way back from the initial advertisement, from the first time that you're even aware of a particular product, to purchase, to bringing it home or shipping it somewhere, or going beyond and being able to reward people through their behavior of the product is fascinating. I know I as someone who loves to cook, who loves to bake, and loses track of how many ingredients I have, or even if it's out of date, the amount of times like you go throughout the year and you want to make something and you find out that it's out of date and then you have to buy another one, but maybe I could have made it last week instead. And reducing food waste would actually be fantastic. So I'm not sure if this is maybe something that Trace System does, but do you track? Are you thinking of getting into this area? Or what about like luxury goods, the collectible items, watches, classic cars, the things that everyone in crypto loves?
If I may, also we got a question from the Discord channel from Osgur, who was actually asking about the example that you mentioned, Claire, but with honey. You know, like what with organic honey, natural honey, like how can you track this kind of products? How in that area?
Explain about it. That what the system that we have developed is kind of industry agnostic. So it's a generic platform that could be applied to different needs, different clusters, industries, and we can definitely apply it to fresh products. But for now, we have to focus on the industries that we can provide a higher value proposition to the clients. But definitely, the potential is significant in food industry. DPPs could enable consumers to scan, for instance, a QR code to see where the food was grown, how it was farmed, and if it's certified organic or a freight trade. For supermarkets, DPPs could improve logistics, manage expiration dates, and reduce waste, and being more aligned with the transparency demands. But on the luxury goods, which is also one of the areas that we have a market focus, like watches and handbags, DPPs ensure authenticity, which is the core feature that we are providing by tracking the origin, materials, and ownership of that product. Similarly, for classic cars, for instance, DPPs could document manufacturing repairs and ownership history that could preserve value and trust in the resale market. So we see a huge opportunity in the second-hand market or resale market. So these are all examples highlight how DPPs adapt to both everyday goods and also premium products.
I may add into that, I mean, again, coming with these web-free additional services that we can layer on top of the core DPP. Because just further, when we talked about luxury goods here, I mean, we can offer certificates of authenticity, for example, which I think is sometimes crucial for certain luxury goods here. Or previous ownership records can also be tracked if allowed here. For example, I mean, example would be Tiger Woods, I mean, was dressed in a special jacket winning a golf competition here. That jacket for sure has a special provenance compared to other jackets. So that, I mean, of course, comes with maybe a more higher price if that jacket was ever to be sold to someone else here. And we can then prove that provenance in that jacket. And in addition, I mean, luxury companies can more easily then also digitally connect and receive feedback from the end customers. That's exactly what I think Chromeway see in their fan seal offering here. How the sports clubs can digitally connect to their fans here. The same, we can now borrow in the similar concepts and put that on top of our DPP offering here to allow then the fashion companies to receive feedback from the end clients, or instead of relying on data from the retailers that may never come from the retailers who bought the clothes here. So we can create a very easily digital link between the producer and the end client.
Wow, all this sounds really cool and exciting, and we are talking a lot of about the potential for Trace for the future. But let's get specific. Okay, what's next for Trace System in 2025? Like, what do you think it's coming for you in the next year, who is 12 days away from us?
We want to become one of the Sunicorns or unicorns. That's the kind of very kind of hairy ambition that we have. But I think we will follow some kind of priority or strategy themes in 2025. We definitely continue focusing on scaling our pilots, expanding into maybe 2 more verticals or industries, and strengthening our partnerships. And partnerships for us is key to kind of shape an ecosystem that could serve different needs of the clients, because it's not only DPP. There are many byproducts and by services that we need to also provide. And we'll also continue to shape industry standards through collaboration with thought leadership. As I said, we want to actively be involved into this space. And our goal is to stay at forefront of transparency and sustainability, while refining our platform's capabilities to meet the evolving needs of our clients. We're constantly developing our product, adding new features to that. But that's one of the other strategy themes that we'll follow. And we also want to expand our portfolio of services from consulting to supplying complementary technologies, becoming a total solution provider and a one-stop kind of shop for businesses. And on that note, our partnership activities are very aligned with this strategy.
Now, if I may add, I mean, we really want to be the one-stop shop here, and we want to go beyond being the one-stop shop, I think, for our clients. I mean, they will come to us because, yes, I want to become a sustainable company. Maybe because of regulatory reasons, I need a DPP, or I want to prove that I'm sustainable as a company. But in addition to that, we can also help and support our clients to become more digitalized in their way of interacting with their partners, with their clients, with their maybe down and upstream partners in the ecosystem. So I think that's also how we see we can further partner up with Chromaway here, who has done a lot of this already and proven that in other types of businesses. We can now borrow in techniques from Chromaway as well to further then strengthen the client's journey into becoming more digital as a company and offer a better user experience for their end clients. So again, Trace Systems, we have DP as our core offering, and then we add in additional services on top of that to further support clients to win a bigger market share. I think that's also especially how we distinguish ourselves from the competition, non-blockchain powered DPPs or even blockchain powered DPPs. That's how we see we stand out significantly compared to other companies that we have reviewed and watched here. So we can be a very much one-stop shop, and we can expand very much into the digitalization process, Web3, and you have it. And I mean, not to forget, of course, metaverse, which also becomes more and more popular among youngsters here, to dress your avatar in a jacket that you own, for example. So we have a lot of experiences and things to share. So please come and talk to us, and we can easily give you a demonstration of these capabilities in addition to the core DPP.
Yeah, it's they are talking, comments in Discord are coming, and yeah, they are highlighting the amount of use cases and the potential that Trace have. How can our community get involved and find more about Trace System? What do you think would be the best way?
I think we have multitude of ways to interact with us. So please, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Twitter. We have Discord channels up, and we're super welcome. Please come with your feedback, come with your suggestions, or come with thoughts about how you may want to partner up with us here to further, build this one-stop shop service here to support and move everybody into the world that we know is already here to help us. So, also, I think we are looking very much to engage with thought leadership here. Share your insights, ask questions, participate in ongoing dialogues about sustainability and the future of these supply chains. And happy follow us on also on the homepage. Of course, we're going to continue to update that and release that with thought leadership pieces. And as we release new services to our offering, we will update the homepage. And also, I would really like to welcome, if you are a part of an organization here, an industry like manufacturing or consumer goods or renewable energy projects, or also you're happy to come and talk to us, where we're happy to pilot opportunities between you and Trace Systems here in a good way. So send us an email, go onto our homepage, or send us a LinkedIn note. We will respond as quickly as we can here and see how we can maybe partner up in a good way here. And I mean, yeah, so reach out through the contact form, and we're gonna be there. Of course, we're gonna ensure also to attend events. We're gonna continuously have webinars like this to share and update you on the progress we made and how we further see how we can evolve our DPP offering into this new world. So yeah, multitude of opportunities. So thanks for taking up that question.
Absolutely. And for everyone who is in the chat right now and is listening, just to recap over that, you need to go and follow Trace Systems on LinkedIn, Twitter, and also go and check out their website too. Fantastic information that we've shared today. Be sure to check out the full recording on YouTube as well as Twitter. And also, it is that exciting part of the AMA, and it's a great segue with what we were just talking about. So you could be one of 5 lucky winners to win $100 in USDT. So getting involved in this week's giveaway is simple. All you need to do is follow both of us on social media. So both Trace Systems as well as Chromia on Twitter, and go to the live Twitter post. So this one that we're speaking in right now, go to the Twitter post and let us know how you would use Trace Systems in your own life. This is great information for not only just us as well as Trace Systems, but it's great to know our community just a little bit better. And with sharing this information, you could be, again, one of 5 lucky winners. We will be able to share the winnings within 72 hours of receiving your wallet address. So keep an eye on Discord for the big announcement of who is the winner. So be sure to go into Chromia's Discord to be able to find out who the winners are. But before we go, I not only want to say a huge thank you to Farhad and Johan from Trace Systems, but I wanted to ask you just one final question. If you could sum up why Trace Systems is special in one sentence, what would it be?
That's a good one. Yeah, and before that, I mean, thank you, Claire, and thank you, Guillermo, for hosting this session. I think wonderful questions and a good discussion. And yeah, and to everybody, please reach out if you have further questions. We're happy to respond to them as quickly as we can. But I mean, yeah, one sentence, that's always complicated. We do, as you understand, a lot of things here, so it's kind of tough maybe to summarize that into one sentence. But I mean, in a way, I mean, Trace System, we very much help businesses to build trust, I would say, because blockchain comes with trust here, and achieve transparency by providing clear and reliable information about the product's journey throughout the whole life cycle, including authenticity, etc. into this. I think that's very much what Trace Systems stands behind there. Building trust to the business, provide clear and reliable information about the journey of any type of products out there. Maybe not one sentence, but at least can be summarized into a sentence. Thank you very much.
And I should also thank you, Claire and Guillermo, for being a great host, and also the whole community for a very kind of enjoyable session. Very great conversations. And the difficult job to wrap it up in one sentence would be Trace Systems make sustainability actionable, making every interaction an opportunity for greener, more informed choices for different stakeholders and businesses. And I want to repeat our slogan, which we love it, which is one scan, countless impacts. And we truly believe in this as our primary mission in this business. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. No, thank you guys so much. This has been a fantastic AMA and really informative, and I can't wait to dive even deeper and speak to you guys again very, very soon, especially with 2025 coming up and the things that you have planned. Possibilities surely are endless. So thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to spend time with us today. It has been a true pleasure. Be sure to follow both of us on social media across all platforms. So Trace Systems and Chromia, be sure to follow us. And don't forget to share this AMA with your friends and follow us for all the latest updates on Chromia's journey. And if you are ready to start building with either one of us, be sure to reach out. Head to our websites as well as our social media again. And my name is Claire, and we will see you next time. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, so again, we would love you to get involved with being the chance to win one of 5 lucky winners to win $100 in USDT. An incredible opportunity here. All you need to do is get involved with the giveaway by posting in our live Twitter post, the one that I'm talking in right now, and tell us how you would be able to use Trace Systems in your own life. Winners will be announced on Chromia's Discord, and your USDT will be sent to you within 72 hours of receiving your wallet address. So keep an eye on Discord for the big announcement, and good luck. We will see you next week. No, we will see you in the new year. This is our last AMA. Let's see you in the new year for some brand new guests, and we can't wait to be able to welcome you back again. Thank you, guys, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care. We'll see you soon.